Hello, my name is Andrew Kenny, and this is the third episode of my short series of videos on 10 of the best. And by 10 of the best, I mean the 10 best Christian books I have read in the last 40 years since I became a Christian. Now, the third book I would like to do a book review on is a famous one, and it's entitled Gods Smuggler by Brother Andrew, the great Dutch missionary. Now, I first read that book in 1976 when I was about 16. I was just a Christian a year. I'd never read any Christian books. I wasn't reading my Bible each day. And that book really did change my life for the better. For a start, it was such an inspiring book for a young Christian to read, and it gave me a lot of enthusiasm, increased my faith, encouraged me to reach out to those without Christ. It enlivened my relationship with God and showed that well, if God used Brother Andrew, maybe He could use me. So it was a tremendous stimulus. Now, Brother Andrew's ministry was involved often with bringing smuggling Bibles into communist countries. So I thought, well, there's Brother Andrew and his colleagues smuggling Bibles into these communist countries, risking their lives. And I'm not even reading my Bible each day. I don't really know too much about it apart from what I learned in Sunday school and the tidbits that I'd heard in church. So I started to read my Bible on a daily basis and believed that God could maybe speak to me each day. Brother Andrew always encouraged quiet times as well. So that had to be incorporated into my life and the life of faith, of walking with God and believing God will open up doors. And in fact, Brother Andrew's organization is called Open Doors. And certainly for the first part of his ministry, he was involved in behind the Iron Curtain, where countries were closed to him, but God miraculously opened up doors for him to reach the believers, to strengthen those in those countries before they would die. And he did. He really did encourage so many believers there, and encouraged them not only with bringing Bibles in, but by his presence to show that the church in the West cared about what was going on with fellow brothers and sisters behind the Iron Curtain, many facing prison, discrimination, having a very difficult time. So it got me involved in the organisation Open Doors. I've been with them since about 1976 as well, and I would take an interest in their work. Now, I would also like the book as well because he was called Brother Andrew, and I'm called Andrew as well, and occasionally I am referred to as Brother Andrew. My mum used to call me Brother Andrew when I was young, so I like that. My son is called Andrew, and I remember reading Gods Smuggler to him when he was about 10 or so, and we wrote a letter off to the great man himself, and he was working with the Palestinians in Israel at the time, and he sent back a lovely card, signed card, with a little message to my son. So it's a great book in many ways, and it will encourage you to do evangelism. It'll encourage you to pray. It'll encourage you to live a life of faith. It'll encourage you to seek to reach your neighbour, and maybe your Muslim neighbour, and then it'll encourage you to care about those who are suffering in lands such as Syria, Egypt, all the persecuted countries. And Open Doors, this organisation, they have a watch list, which means it's the worst countries for Christians, and number one, as you might guess, is North Korea. This book will at times have you in tears. You'll you'll be so sad. It will have you in laughter and funny stories. There was one instance when, before Andrew became a Christian, he was a soldier in Indonesia and he got himself a little pet monkey. And actually that story will have you in tears and in laughter as well. And it's beautifully told by Brother Andrew himself, along with the help of John and Elizabeth Sherrill, who co-authored the great books such as Cross and the Switchblade and The Hiding Place. So it's a great, great read. I would say that's one of the best books I've ever read. And I've read it quite a number of times. I reread it last week. And again, I'm inspired in my faith. To pray, to evangelize, to care for my brothers and sisters behind the iron curtain or the bamboo curtain or whatever curtain, that they're with God. There are no closed doors, but if He opens them, He can open them and no man can shut them. So be prepared to be challenged, be prepared to be inspired, be prepared to grow in your faith. And if you live in the UK, you can actually get a free copy. You can get a free copy, and I'll put the link down below the video. And it will also tell you some of the work that Brother Andrew is still doing. Now, Brother Andrew himself, he's by 94, I think he is, and still going strong. And many others carry on his work. So, get this book. To be inspired, get several copies, spread them out, encourage people to read it. And even if they're a non-Christian, because it starts out with Brother Andrew being a non-Christian, not thinking too much of Christianity, but through God's grace, through God's Holy Spirit, he comes to Christ and gives his life completely over to him. If you have any questions, contact me and I'll be in touch. God bless you. Bye-bye.